Hey, this is Tim from Jeep Tubes, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Hey guys, welcome to the pre-show. Got a little bit later start tonight than what we normally do, but hopefully we'll be on time tonight. That's our goal. We got about 7 minutes, Josh.
Very good. I am just about done putting the finishing touches on tonight's show notes, so just about there.
I'm going to adjust the light here. Going to have a little green screen issue, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Be doing a little Amazon You Bought What tonight, along with the return of Steve for the Jeep Tip segment. You know, Steve provided me some pictures, wheeling pictures, and even a picture of himself, and I did not have time to put that into the slideshow.
Oh.
Shouldn't have mentioned it, should I? You know, I was looking over on, I can't remember the website name now, but the website where I got this lame-ass Sweet Dreams music. And I'm kidding, guys. It's Llamas. Anyway, thinking of something else. So anyway, I went over there and looked, and I found some more songs that were the right kind of copyright, the same one as this one, where you just I forget exactly what it's called, but basically all you have to do is make is mention the name, the artist name. I'm not even sure you have to name the song, and which I just did, and give them credit basically, but they don't want anything else. I mean, you can use it in any way, shape, or form you like to. So I saw several of them on there like that, and strangely, they were marked by the site as being pro, available for pro, and for pro you got to pay like 3,000 euros or something.
Jeez.
But the license doesn't say you got to pay for it. It's right there to download. I don't know. It just was really confusing. Why would somebody charge you for something that when the license or the person that created it is saying use it for however you like, even if it's for commercial purposes? Just give me credit. So I don't know. I didn't download anything to start using, but there was some other fairly good music on there. I think this is probably head and shoulders the best one that I've heard from that site. And I'll just warn you, Josh, I'm wearing all red tonight. Red cap, red shirt.
Boy.
I think my teeth are even red.
I've been told I look good in red.
Red head or?
No.
I should have said buy a redhead. Or better yet, buy two.
Hey, how many Amazon items do you want to do?
Well, we can wing it. I mean, we've got the show's pretty much open since we only have one 6-minute segment to play.
Okay.
It depends on how much chit chat you want to do. Have you done those ball joints yet?
No, it's this weekend.
Damn it! I'm pretty sure that's what's causing my wandering over unlevel surfaces. It's not real bad. It just feels funky. I have never experienced that before. I don't think it has anything to do with the front end, all the front end parts, because I've never even with worn out front end parts, I've never felt that.
Oh boy, I can't pass this group of Amazon items up. Boy, that's gonna be. Oh
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Somebody's getting with the spirit.
that is just fantastic! Wow, all of these together. Jeez.
Yeah, I figure we'll just play around, have some fun with that, with several of them. But there's a bunch to pick from. I don't know. We can keep it short if you think it's. Yeah.
Two words, ladies and gentlemen: open crotch.
That's almost like an open bar, isn't it?
Oh, I love our listeners. I really do.
Did you see that Google Plus comment?
Yeah. Oh, is that where that came from?
Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah, I like that. Okay, here, I need to get this over here back on that screen.
Let's see, Dropbox. There's that. Openers. Yeah, 46A. I'm still coughing a little bit.
Man, it's just it will not let go. I have never been sick to this degree. It's just like it's just barely there. It's there enough to where every now and again I get a cough. It feels like I constantly got to clear my throat. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's the first time that this is really anything's really held on like this before.
So I know we chatted about this, text chatted earlier today, but why don't I give me the show notes up? Maybe that'll answer my questions. So let's see. Opener. Yep. Exactly.
I do want to move the mid-show Audible promo to somewhere else other than right in front of the Amazon.
Oh, that's fine. I was just trying to stick it in someplace. So
yeah, no, that's fine.
And how often have you said that on a Friday night?
See, let's.
Unfortunately for me, it was at Scout Camp, and I heard it behind me.
Let's do it right in front of the voicemails.
Yeah, and my gosh, I should update this. It's 10:01. I lied again. I'm gonna update this because this has changed. That little approval, Google Plus approval has changed a little bit, and I didn't realize it until I was grabbing the image here. So I'm just going to update the show notes here real quick. Yeah. So now it has 2 items on there. I thought it was pretty funny. Schedule my week around it.
Well, except it cut off some of that text. The bottom part of it.
Well, that's the only 2 that I had. I mean, that's the same thing that he said in the other one, but it's
right.
more condensed.
It cut off some of his text. I think it just the only thing it cut off is Poland. This is only 10 more hours to the next show. Right. It's going to sound so much better even from Poland, and it cut off the Poland part.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me stick the other one in there. Just have to scroll to see them all and get to the next thing. The next portion of the goodies. So let's see. Is it both things on there? No, there's the only 10 more hours.
Yeah, it's got both. Best web podcast ever seen. I schedule my week around it, and then the other one is the 10 more hours to go.
Oh, it's in a different order. That's strange.
Yeah.
I'll just get rid of that second one then.
All right.
Women, one size, black, orange, wide stripes. Oh, yeah. Thigh-high stockings. You know, it's a little early for Halloween. Reminds me of that peanut butter candy that's on Halloween that comes in the red and black wrapping paper. Wax paper. So let's see. The intro is 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay.
So I think we figured out that I read that in about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to start reading it at the 2 minute and 20 second mark.
All right, I got my stopwatch up and going.
So let's see. I'll have time. Yeah, that's right. I do. I have the time into it and the time left. So, 2:20 or 30 seconds, either one. I should be able to read that. Hopefully, I'll get it timed right this time. I need to practice. Love that guy on the website that asked how we, if we go with a spreadsheet or how we go about planning everything because it's so perfect. God, I wish I spent much time. If I didn't have this daytime job.
Yeah, the whole pesky career thing getting in the way.
Yeah, I could waste more time. All right. Well, let's see. We're 5 minutes after. So you ready to get going?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me just check the level here. What did I do that for? Here we go. And clear this one out so I don't get confused. And it didn't clear. Go away.
Mm-mm.
There we go.
Let me know right before you're about to start, and I'll get my stopwatch going.
Let's see. Yep, should be good. Okay. I'm gonna hit the button right about now.
We interrupt this broadcast for a breaking XJ Talk Show news bulletin. Gordon Ramsay's sex dwarf found dead, allegedly eaten by local badger. Full story coming up right after this.
Podcast brought to you by Audible.com. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/xjtalkshow.
Hey, stud. It's time for the XJ Talk Show. Now, here's my two favorite boys, Tony and Josh.
One of my favorite intros, Josh. Hey, welcome to the XJ Talk Show, and episode 123. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yep, gotta love it. Loving getting up into these triple digits here like this, and love doing the show for you guys every week. Glad you guys have joined us. We got a great show for you tonight.
It's always a great show, Josh. How dare you?
Yeah. We got some fun stuff in store for you tonight. We got the Amazon You Bought and What. A couple of Jeep stories as well. We've got some Jeep tips for you and some reviews. A whole bunch of stuff. We're going to try and cram it all into just an hour.
Yeah, we're going to try to get really close to that hour too, Josh. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to be doing a Jeep tip segment tonight. How to check your oil. And I've been checking my oil for years, and I learned some stuff when I was editing the that little segment earlier. So I think it's going to be very interesting for many of you to hear what Steve 4.3 LXJ has to say. I want to remind you guys, we have a new sponsor, Audible.com, as Josh was talking to us about. We'll tell you a little bit more about that here in the show. And also want to remind you about xjtalk.com. That's the reason why we're here. It's a great forum. You guys all should visit it.
Absolutely. Gotta love the websites. That's why we're here, folks. Head over there right now. And don't forget about the show. Over at xjtalkshow.com is where you can find everything.
This is the XJ Talk Show, a podcast about Jeep Cherokees, off-roading, and the tech that you need to get you there and back. We're here to promote the web's most premier website for all that is Jeep Cherokee, xjtalk.com, the friendliest and most helpful Jeep site on the web. xjtalk.com encourages and answers all questions and concerns the first-time XJ Jeep owners typically have without flaming or criticism, all while giving you the best, most in-depth articles and write-ups for the repairs and modifications that take the average XJ to the next level. Now get ready. It's time for the XJ Talk Show. It starts right now.
First Week in Jeep.
Well, the big man at Chrysler, CEO Sergio Marchionne, cannot keep a secret. Now, most automakers have a stock answer when it comes to fielding questions about what's going on at the company's R&D and design centers. Now, typically, it's a stiff arm to the camera lens or a swift backhand to the sea of microphones. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but you have to admit the cookie cutter no comment is basically a slap in the face. Now, typically, it goes something like the movie Fight Club. What's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. Okay, so the engineers and executives at Chrysler aren't participating in an underground fighting ring, although that would be worth a pay-per-view if you ask me. Now, I digress. It seems lately that the Chrysler CEO, Sergio Marchionne, hasn't even seen the movie Fight Club because he's been leaking info about what's going on behind the curtain all week. Now, some of the secrets he's mentioned at what the guys in R&D are working on, or very hard working on at least, is a hybrid minivan. That's right, Chrysler is going to try and produce a hybrid minivan here very soon. It's actually one of the top things on their list right now. Now, I know it's not too glamorous, but it does get better. Check this out. He also mentioned that the Wrangler will be keeping its current styling cues and signature look for the 2015 model year. That's a lot of relief because I know I've reported here recently that the Wrangler is about to get a makeover here in the next few years. Hopefully, 2015 will do it some justice, and we're going to see a nice, easy transition to what they're soon going to be offering as the new Wrangler. The Dodge Dart will be getting a makeover as well to make it more slim and more efficient, whatever that means. What's the bottom line here with all this? Well, it could be a well-planned publicity stunt to get the likes of us talking about it all, or Mr. Marchionne is just a loose cannon. Now, trust me, folks, if you've ever seen this guy or heard him speak, you'll probably side with the first. Now, Jeep Cherokee, as we all know, the new Jeep Cherokee has its car roots. Well, at least it's going to have car roots. As we all know, the new 2014 Jeep Cherokee isn't really much to look at. It definitely resembles more car than SUV. Certainly more car than off-road icon. Well, now it's official. The new Cherokee is in fact so much like a car that in large, the new Chrysler 200 will not only be sharing the same platform, but likely many of the same parts as well. This is also true for the Dodge Dart, since the Cherokee was based on the Dart platform in its initial design. What does all this mean? Well, to me, it means the new Cherokee is a car and not a crossover and SUV, further doing an injustice to the name on the side. Hey guys, if you would like to submit a story to be aired on This Week in Jeep, just like John Pre-Runner 1982 did with our first and second story, please send an email to newstips@xjtalk.com.
Hey, it's Matt Adair with Petty Cash Racing. Tune into the XJ Talk Show to find out more about our team and the Jeep we all love.
xjtalk.com. It's where you go when you're not off-road.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tappa Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
Well, Josh, it's time for a little YouTube subscriber appreciation.
Yeah, as you guys know, we broadcast the event live every Thursday, 10 p.m. Central on YouTube. We've been asking you guys to subscribe, and, well, you've certainly been doing that. The list is growing bigger and bigger every week, and so much so we can't keep up with it. And we don't want to spend a whole episode giving props to all the names on the list, so we pick out a few every week and, well, give them some props. Jose Torres, number 1 spot this week.
Assault, spelled funny with the number 4.
Brown Racing, double zeros.
Oh, I like this one. Cherokee Guy 1988. Want to thank all you guys, all 452 of you. I think a couple snuck in after I put that number on the show notes. It might be 453 or 454.
Oh, I'm sure it's growing all the time. Guys, if your name hasn't been called here recently and you've joined or subscribed here recently, don't fret. We're sure to call your name sooner or later.
Thanks a lot for subscribing. So, man, we got some reviews this week, Josh. I'm really tickled, especially about this. Well, both of them, of course, but the one where the guy said about the losing sleep or planning his week. I'll not jump into it too far, but let's start with the iTunes review. Also, very much appreciated.
Yeah, as you guys know, we are on iTunes. You can find, well, virtually the entire show archive on there, with some exceptions. But there's quite a bit on iTunes for you guys to listen to nonetheless. So all of you iTunes users, if you know somebody who's using iTunes and enjoys podcasts, make sure you turn them on to the show. And by all means, leave a 5-star review like this next person did, and leave us a comment as well. Best Jeep XJ Talk Show ever by Mustang Cobra. The best Jeep talk show out there. I love watching and listening to Tony and Josh give out great Jeep tips and tricks. I would recommend and have recommended this show to anyone who enjoys working on, wheeling, or just driving Jeeps in general. Thanks, guys, and keep it up. That was by Wason, Wason. He says, P.S. I'm American. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, I appreciate that with that name, because it's like wax on, wax off. I wasn't too sure, but yeah, we know who you are. We've seen you on the site. We really appreciate the great review, and I thought it was pretty cool that he goes by Mustang Cobra. I mean, how many great XJ Talk shows do you get from Mustang owners?
You know, it's funny. Through all my perusing online through the different forums and Jeep sites and all that stuff, it seems like there are a lot of Cherokee owners that choose a Mustang as their daily driver. Maybe it's because the injectors are easy to swap from one vehicle to the other. I don't know. I don't know what the connection is. I don't know what the attraction is. I've never really been a huge Ford guy myself. Not that I'm, pro Cobra or pro Chevy or anti Ford or anything like that. Just I've never really seen the attraction, but to each their own.
Yeah. Well, we have this other one, which wasn't really an official like a Stitcher review or an iTunes review. It's a review that it was kind of, I don't even know if you call it a review. It's just some nice words that Michael Brewer said about us on Google+. If you're not aware, we're on Google+ with the XJ Talk Show and xjtalk.com. And I think there was an automatic post put about the show that was coming up tonight. And Michael Brewer commented on that post. He says, only 10 more hours to the next show, ! It's going to sound so much better, even from Poland. Most productive thing I could do at 5 a.m. Just can't wait until Monday night to hear the show.
That is just awesome. Losing sleep for the podcast, man. That's a true fan right there. Thanks again, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Yep. And let's see. There was one other thing that he said here that I thought was funny. Best web podcast ever seen. I schedule my week around it. Now, that's some dedication, man. That is some real dedication. I commented. I even posted this up on XJ Talk Facebook, and I commented that it really brought a smile to my face, but being a little humble about it, I was I kind of wonder if he's just joking around just a bit there. But what if he's serious? That's kind of scary and exciting at the same time.
Well, it'd be scary when he says, and I'm waiting outside your house for the next episode. No, that would be a little scary. No, we really appreciate the feedback, guys, whether it's by web, by email, or even by phone. We're always giving out that 24/7 voicemail line to call. You guys can call in if you're not that good of a typer or not that good with words. Just give us a call, whether you're intoxicated, inebriated, or bone stone sober. 530-675-4102. We love the feedback, guys. Keep it coming.
And we've got several voicemails coming up tonight. But let's get on to our next fun segment.
Oh, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I just know it.
Amazon.com and the XJ Talk Show present You Bought What?
So for those of you guys who don't know, and for those who do, hang tight. I got to bring everybody else up to speed. Here at the XJ Talk Show, we've got a great relationship with Amazon.com. And as you guys know, Amazon.com is the premier source for all your online shopping needs. Now, how it works is you head over to xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com. You click on the Amazon banner right there on the homepage, right there on the main page. It takes you straight over to Amazon where you can continue your online shopping as you normally would. But Amazon has agreed to give us a small pittance, this tiny little kickback, a very minuscule percentage of whatever you buy as a way to help support the show. So if you'd like what you're hearing, you like the podcast, you'd like to support us, help keep the lights on and help keep the content coming, well, make sure you're shopping at Amazon.com and make sure you're shopping or clicking on the link there on our homepage. And again, you're not going to spend a single cent more, not a dime more for anything that you buy. But Amazon has agreed to not only give us a little kickback, but also give us a list of what you guys have been buying. Now, sometimes it's really cool stuff like Jeep parts and stuff like that. Other times it's stuff for the garage. Sometimes it's food stuff. And sometimes you guys throw us a really cool curveball. And we might actually see a curveball tonight. So hang tight.
Yeah, sometimes it's for the groin. I know where you were going there.
Yeah. All this ball talk lately. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I was thinking of a different kind of groin, but okay. So to each his own. I'm not here to judge. I do want to mention, though, that you go and click on the banner, the Amazon.com banner, on xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com before you make your purchase. And the show gets between 4 and 10% of the purchase. So if you have been holding off buying that sailboat, now's the time.
Now would be the time.
And
yes.
go click on the, we're likely to give you a 30-minute segment to talk about your sailboat on the show. If you remember to click on Amazon.com or Amazon.com banner first. But anyway, let's get to the fun.
Okay, real quick though, before we get to there was something that popped up recently about items in a shopping cart or wish list and stuff like that. I'm not sure exactly how it works with the wish list on Amazon, but if let's say you went over to Amazon, you didn't know about this setup here. You have something in your cart already, you might want to clear that out and then go find it again. If you recently clicked on something that you're about ready to buy and you're just listening to this and you're thinking, oh geez, I want to help them out. You're gonna have to clear that card out, log off, whatever, clear the cookies. I'm not sure exactly what all you're gonna have to do, but in order for you to get the credit, for us to get the credit, and to end up on this list, well, you're gonna have to make sure you click on those banners first before you do your shopping.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go through the jump through some hoops for us, that's great. But I'll tell you what, just remember us next time if you don't want to mess with all that, because the most important thing is that you're here listening to the show, whether it be on the live show, what's going on right now, or listening to us on the podcast, which is recorded and released every Monday at midnight Central Time.
So this list is huge right now, guys. You guys have been buying like crazy, and that's awesome. Obviously, some of you guys are getting that tax return money and putting it to good use. And I see some very interesting things on the show.
I don't know if I would say good use, Josh. I would say use. I mean, maybe not good use.
Yes, I'm sure there's some use getting out of this. I'm not sure if it's up to any good or up to no good. I'm not sure, but we'll ease into that a little bit. Let's start with something safe here in the sports and outdoors category. A SecurityLink 4800 LM 4x Cree XML T6 LED bicycle light. Basically, it's a bright-ass bicycle light made by Cree. And those are the guys who are making awesome LED technology for those really cool light bars that, Tony's got on his Jeep now and that I will soon be having as well.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that in the chit-chat section, but I actually bought some metal to build me a bracket for my 44-inch light bar. But anyway, here we go. We've got a DVD, Game of Thrones Season 3 Blu-ray DVD combo plus a digital copy. So I've heard a lot about Game of Thrones. I've never watched it.
I'm in the same boat, Tony. I hear a lot of people talking about it. I think it may have won awards, or at least there's some actors from the show that have won awards. And I haven't given it a shot yet. I don't have the premium cable. I think that's like on HBO or Showtime or something like that. So, but obviously the DVDs are out there. I might have to pick up one of these myself. Give the show a shot. So what do we got here? We've got, a sexy black sheer lace tie-up bra with matching thong. It's a 2-piece set. It's by Renee Roth.
Yummy.
I am not going to assume that that's being worn by a woman, but I'm going to hope that it is. So
I'm going to imagine it that way just because that's the kind of guy I am. So I don't think that you didn't have this one marked, so I'm gonna assume you weren't going to read this one. 2-pack thong and boy short, silver and black panty with accent lace. I wonder if it's a Latin accent. Medium black white.
That's another thing that I'm just gonna hope that's going in the panty drawer and not next to the boxers. But we'll go ahead and just keep moving along here with the Batman Dark Knight Rises 3/4 Bane mask, multicolored, one size fits all. Now there's something here that just there's 3 items that really kind of were all together on the list at one time. It was that sexy black sheer lace tie-up bra with matching thong and this Bane mask, along with a women's summer tube top mini dress, one size fits all in blue. Now, I don't remember blue being a big part of Bane's costume in the last Batman, the Dark Knight Rises movie, but somebody's got a very, very interesting bedroom repertoire, or they're certainly shopping early for their Halloween costume.
Yeah. Just remember, Batman, when you're swinging from the overhead fan, if it's not mounted properly, it will come down on both of you, or just you if you're alone.
Well, and speaking of mounting properly, that's not the way you do it, folks.
Where's the PB blaster when I need it? So, I like this one. Yeah, this is kind of going off a different direction. J&D's Hickory Bacon Salt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now they ruined it. Low sodium.
Oh.
2-ounce bottle. 2 ounces. That's not much.
No, that's barely enough for a plate of eggs, So hey, maybe they're just testing it out before they buy the pound brick of it.
Yeah, the lick, the what do you call the salt lick?
The bacon salt lick.
Just keep that next to the TV, and that's the way.
What, I've got one of those on my dash, don't you?
Dash, I got it on the shifter.
Yeah, right. So we've got a women's V-shaped hollow lace strap, 1-piece sexy lingerie, size medium and in white. Now, you guys are definitely hooking us up here with some funny because that's a lot of bedroom stuff that's all being ordered, and it's all grouped together. So this has got to be going to one house. A lot of lingerie and a Batman Bane mask. It screams one hell of a night.
So let's see. We got a lot of food stuff here. 800 seeds, carrot rainbow blend, Dascus Carrota, seeds by Seeds Needs.
If you need some seeds, carrots are certainly a way to go. I love the rainbow carrots. They certainly dress up a plate. As you guys know, I'm no stranger to the kitchen. I love cooking, and those rainbow fingerling carrots are really something else. And one of these days, I will build myself some raised beds and get a garden going. But for now, I just don't have the time for it. So I'm going to live vicariously through you guys. We're ordering seeds through Amazon.com.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't mind seeing a few pictures of these gardens these people are planting.
I know we do have a gardening thread out over on xjtalk.com. That we do have some green thumbs that are fans of the show and Jeepers and stuff like that. So, hey, if you guys out there are listening and you enjoy some gardening, head over to xjtalk.com, find the gardening thread, and post up some pics. So there's one last one here that I had to highlight because if you're listening to the pre-show, guys, and this is why you got to tune into the live show, because you heard me just about lose myself, and I was almost in tears when I started reading this because it caught me completely off guard. Now, we've had the occasional marital aid, is what I will call it, for sake of keeping this PG-13, but this one approaches the line of which I can't really spin this any other way. But this is a women's 3-color fashion pack of open crotch side lace-up thong, red, purple, black in medium. So the open crotch is just, there's 2 words right there. Open crotch. Come on.
So let me make sure I understand this. Now, I know when I'm buying computer stuff, sometimes you can get a better deal if it's open box. So would this be like a mishap at the factory where they just didn't, thread up the middle area of the crotch thing? Because I personally think that would be kind of cold. Great for going to the bathroom, but
Yeah, boy, I'm going to leave that one alone just a little bit. Yeah, normally hands don't go into an open box, and, well, let's just leave it there.
I think it begs that they do, Josh. I mean, if you're doing it right.
Right.
We just found out what you bought.
Oh my god, I just can't believe that made it on the list.
Yeah, kudos to you guys putting the stuff on the list that we have fun getting read about.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a little flush. I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, it definitely got me blushing a little bit. So a lot of fun. Keep up the good work, guys. We love the curveballs. We love the off the wall stuff. We love having fun with this stuff, and obviously you guys are having some fun too. Probably a little bit more than some of you should be, but
but honey, I bought this so we could get on the show. We might as well use it.
Fair. Keep up the good work. We really appreciate it.
Is that you, Batman? So yeah, a lot of good stuff, and we appreciate you guys going in there, irregardless of you buying something that's funny or interesting or Jeep related. We really appreciate you guys going and clicking on the banner before going over there and purchasing your things at Amazon. Kudos, hats off, the whole 9 yards. Well, Josh, it's time for chit chat. We need to roll something here with chit chat. I guess a lot of or maybe some of that Peanuts womp 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 womp.
Oh,
to play, roll right before the chit.
Have to figure out some sort of a production that we can do to roll into the chit chat portion of every show, guys. This is the part where Tony and I just kind of chew the rag about what's going on with our own Jeeps and what's happening in life in general. Now, as you guys know, we talked a lot in several episodes about ball joints and how mine needed to be replaced and which ones I went with. And you guys can head back to episodes, I think, 119 through 122 probably. Somewhere around there, about all that ball joint talk and figure out what it was that I bought. Well, I didn't get a chance to install them last weekend. I have a side gig that I do where I'm a part-time DJ as well as and I had a gig that I had to do, and it was a long one too, and it wasn't very close to the house. It was about an hour drive. It's a lot of gear that I have to do for a gig like this, and it just really wore me out. And that was last Saturday. When it came around Sunday for me to do some tinkering with the Jeep, I just didn't have it in me. I decided to sleep in, take a rest, and give my body a little bit of a rest after lugging all that heavy equipment around. So I didn't get to the ball joint install last week. It is scheduled for this week, though. I am bound and determined to get those ball joints in, and I have another couple little projects that I'm going to do as well. So while I have the ball joints out, really, you're almost completely disassembling that Dana 30 to do a ball joint job. The wheels and tires come off, the brake calipers come off, the rotors come off, and the best way to do it is to pull the axle shafts out as well, so you can really open up the C's, the knuckles, and get to the ball joints. So once you're at that point, I figure might as well do a substantial upgrade to the strength of the Dana 30. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Josh is going to weld in a big truss. Well, I might, but it's not going to happen right now. What I am going to do, however, is gusset the C's. Now, the C's are the things on the end of the axle tube. These are the things that the ball joints get pressed into that the knuckles attach to. And this is what enables the front end to steer and all that stuff. But the C's on a Dana 30, although are strong and can hold up to a fair amount of abuse, and especially if you're in the 30s to 31 to maybe even some 33-inch tire range. But when you get up into the 33s and do some heavy wheeling, or you're stepping up into a larger tire size than 33, you really want to start seriously considering, if you're going to be keeping the Dana 30, to strengthen it up quite a bit. And one of the things you can do is gusset the C's. Now, what's a gusset? Well, a gusset is what's going to connect two planes or two areas of metal together and really strengthen them up all together. And that's what I'm planning on doing. Now, Rough Stuff and I think Ballistic Fabrication, there's a few other companies out there that manufacture these off the shelf. Just boom, here you go. But I decided I'm going to make my own. I've got a fabricator buddy who's got plenty of metal laying around, and he's offered to help me out with some of the fabrication as long as I help him out with making the template. So it's a little bit of CAD work. That's not computer aided drafting. It'll be cardboard aided drafting is what I'm going to do. Take a little bit of piece of cardboard and start, trimming and cutting and drawing and all that sort of stuff to kind of get your basic shape of what it's going to be like. Now, I'm using sort of what is out there available on the market as a template already. If it's working for other people, if companies are putting their name behind it and selling these things, well, it's good enough for me. I want to give it a shot on my own, though. So I'm going to kind of use that as a concept idea and for the general shape and, of course, where they go and all that stuff. And then kind of maybe even improve on that, maybe add some other things that I've seen other people do online to improve the strength of the Cs on their own Dana 30. So that's in store for while I'm doing the ball joint install. If I try to do this before, during, or after their ball joints are still in, I'm going to smoke them. Because there's a lot of heat that's going to be transferred while you're welding these on. And really, as you're gusseting the Cs, you can't do it any other way. Do not try to do this with bolts and screws or JB weld. No, you're going to have to do this by welding them on. So it's not something that's really a bolt-on kit. This is a weld-on upgrade to the Dana 30. But in my mind, in the kind of wheeling that I do, I think it's pretty necessary, at least until I do an axle upgrade. And that would be something along the lines of a Dana 44, a Dana 60, or something else. So until then, the ball joint's going to go in. The Cs are going to get gusted, not in that order, obviously. And I have something coming in the mail that may or may not get installed at the same time, but it's not for the front of the Jeep. It's not for the Dana 30. Nope, it's for the back end. And it's for the leaf springs, in fact. I actually ordered up a set of the HD Engineering shackle relocation brackets. And for those who don't know what these things are, we talked a little bit about it last episode. But what this is going to do, it's a bolt-in kit. I may throw a couple tack welds in there just for, peace of mind, make sure these things aren't going to go anywhere. But a lot of the Cherokee guys out here swear by this HD Off-Road Engineering shackle relocation bracket. This kit is also a similar kit is made by Rough Country. You guys can go check them out at xdengineering.com or roughcountry.com. You can see these things. And basically what it does is it drops the location of the shackle mount down and gives you different points along the length of the vehicle, but it's not much, only about, maybe 10 inches or so, for you to mount that pivot point of the upper shackle mount to increase the angle of it. And what that does, it's just like the angle of your control arms. It's going to make the spring do more of the work. It's going to make the suspension do more of the work instead of transferring a lot of the shock and vibrations of the trail and the road through the shackle into the body. Going to make the suspension work harder, and it's going to create a lot smoother ride. The benefits, well, you're going to get a little bit of a lift, anywhere from inch to an inch and a half, and a lot smoother ride. But primarily, the best benefit is better articulation, and that's what I'm going after. The back end of my Jeep does not flex like I want it to. This is going to help out quite a bit.
Now, I know you did the lower control arm mounts because you had pretty much beat the hell out of the ones that were on the Dana 30.
Yep.
I'll be honest, man. I've never heard about gusseting the. Would you call that the knuckle, or is the knuckle the part that goes on to the C?
The knuckle is the part that attaches via the ball joints to the C.
Okay, so I guess this wouldn't matter. Have you given any thought to? And I'm really out on a limb here. Don't know what I'm talking about. But
okay.
Replacing the Dana 30 knuckles with Dana 44 knuckles. And then also replacing the wheel bearing assembly with something that's more heavy duty.
I've thought about even doing the WJ knuckle swap.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And this would give you the ability to do a crossover high steer. It gives you the ability to mount the dual piston calipers.
Oh, that's right. You already have the high is it high steer? You already have high steer on yours, right?
It's over the knuckle.
Over the knuckle.
It's not. It's technically a high steer. It's not a true crossover steering. It's still an inverted T setup as far as the actual steering geometry goes. But when you get into the kind of design of a Dana 44 knuckle, and you talking about high steer, it's really the steering is so much above the knuckles. That's where you enter the high steer. Now, mine are over the knuckle, OTK for abbreviation. So over the knuckle steering with my 1-ton steering setup that I've got. And so it's not a true high steer, but it's close. But it's definitely over the knuckle, which is a far improvement over the stock steering setup, the inverted Y setup that is stock on a Cherokee.
Now, are you getting any a dead zone of I guess in your steering because of the tie rod roll?
There is a little bit in there. Now, there's a polyurethane spacer that goes in between the drag link and the tie rod that helps minimize some of that. And it's a part that does see some wear because there's a lot of force and stuff on there. And I'm probably another wheeling trip or two away from having to replace that. So it's is there a dead spot like that you typically get with an inverted T setup? Yes, there is. Is it massive? Does it cause me to fly all over the road and have the Jeep generally uncontrollable? No, it's really not that bad.
So for a daily driver, it would be noticeable and perhaps not something you'd want to do.
And I was just going to say that, in fact, that if you are daily driving, you've got a long commute, you spend a lot of time in your Jeep, that kind of setup may not be for you. There is a learning curve. It's something that you have to get used to. Just like, driving without sway bars or, driving a lifted vehicle or, anytime you do a major modification to the suspension or steering, it's going to be a different vehicle. It's going to feel different. It's going to perform different. And it's going to take a while to get used to.
Well, let me ask you before we get too far away from what you just said about the driving without sway bars. What's your personal opinion on driving daily without a sway bar? Now, I've heard, there was a Jeeper up in Oklahoma recently, I believe Pre-Runner knew him, that lost his life. And I did read something that it was something having to do with having to react and not having a sway bar that caused him to roll and pass away from that. Is that something that you think it's a good idea for people to be driving around without sway bars? I mean, people should do whatever they feels comfortable, but for our responsibility from this show, I don't know that that's something that we would recommend doing. I mean, it's not that big a deal to get disconnects.
No, it's not. But let me warn you guys: when you go to an over the knuckle steering system on the Jeep Cherokee, on the Dana 30, the sway bar links, the mounts that the sway bar would attach to, the sway bar links that would attach to the bracket on the axle, those axle brackets have to be cut off. So essentially, once you go over the knuckle, you have two options. Either you have to fabricate or buy some extended sway bar links to weld back on to reattach your sway bar, or you drive without one. Now, my Jeep is not a daily driver anymore. It's a dedicated trail rig. And although I don't trailer it, I do have to drive to get to my wheeling destinations and, of course, drive back. Now, over the years, I have not bothered with reconnecting my sway bars after a wheeling trip, and I've would forget about it for a couple of weeks. And this is while I was daily driving my Jeep, but this is of course before the inverted T over the knuckle steering setup that I've got now. And so I got a little bit introduced to, I got a little bit used to what it's like to drive without sway bars. Now, some people are in the camp of, oh, I would never, ever do it. I've heard that, you go around the block without your sway bar disconnected and you're going to end up in a ditch and on your roof. Yeah. It's entirely possible, honestly, guys.
Well, it feels funny, but I've never felt like I was going to roll it.
No, it really, I was just going to say, it all depends on what your driving style is, how competent of a driver you are. And I'm not going to sit here and attempt to insult your intelligence and predict of, what kind of driver you are, or tell you that you're a good driver or a bad driver, or I'm better or worse than you. What I will say is that playing into what Tony was talking about, the Oklahoma Jeeper who lost his life, and it may or may not have been due to his sway bars. I don't have the evidence here in front of me, but I will say that it does drastically increase your chances of a rollover and decrease your ability to competently maneuver out of a situation if you have to make a drastic steering maneuver.
And we're talking drastic here, though.
And I do mean drastic. I'm talking freeway speeds. The semi that's in front of you suddenly stops because he ran into the back of another semi. You have a catastrophic failure in your own Jeep or the vehicle in front of you. You have no other choice but to completely whip that steering wheel around. And the sway bars prevent the body roll. It prevents the body from basically sucking down or pulling up the suspension. And really, it keeps the Jeep maneuverable. When you disconnect the sway bars, it's great off-road, but on-road, you lose a lot of your ability to navigate out of a situation like that.
It feels like you're steering a boat, is what it feels like.
Yeah, it's a little, like I said, it's definitely takes some getting used to. I wouldn't recommend it. There's no benefit to daily driving your Jeep without sway bars. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're in the boat of where, hey, I'm going to be doing this steering upgrade, I can't afford extended sway bar links right now. It's going to have to be the next phase of things. You can do it. I'm not going to recommend it. I don't advocate it. I'm not an advocate for it, but it's not the end of the world either.
Well, I think I'd like to mention here something real quick. XJ Talk Show is now I messed up with this earlier today. I was trying to do a tweet affiliate. I'm having trouble with words. I think I'm missing naps is the problem, Josh. But we're now an affiliate for Audible.com, and if you're a podcast listener, well, you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from listening to a book, especially if you can't read like me and Josh.
Yeah, that's right. We've often said that, well, we're functional illiterates, and we played into that in a little bit in our other podcast, which is on hiatus right now. But it's no secret that Tony and I don't like to read. So that's where audiobooks come in.
And there's no math, damn it.
Hey, my favorite part. Yeah, well, Audible.com, as I mentioned earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, they have over 150,000 titles, and it's growing all the time across any imaginable topic that you can think of, from tech to sci-fi, fiction to fantasy, and yes, they even have some Jeep stuff. I even looked at a couple of Jeep books this afternoon. They've got some really cool, actually, Jeep-related children's books in Audible form. Great for road trips for those of you guys who taking some cross-country trips this spring break or summer break coming up here soon. With the kiddies. To get you started, well, we here at the XJ Talk Show, we got you hooked up. You just got to go to audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show. I know it's a lot, but we're going to go ahead and post up that link for you on the XJ Talk Show homepage. You guys can click on that and get instantly one free title of your choice. Now, not all audiobooks are free, and some of the good ones, well, they're going to cost you a little bit. It's not an arm and a leg. It's actually quite inexpensive. But this will get you going. You get a 30-day free trial and a free audiobook of your choice. Now, who says you can't get something for nothing? We're hooking you up here at the XJ Talk Show. All you got to do is head over to audibletrial.com/XJ Talk Show.
Hey, I'll mention, if you're heading out to the trail, you may be going all the way out to the Rubicon or, doing a long trip out to Moab. You're driving along in the tow rig. You can listen to one of these audiobooks and enjoy yourself and well, you won't have to listen to the person sitting next to you yap on about something that you don't want to hear about.
Very good point. I like that.
Are you listening to me? Just nod. Every 15 seconds, just nod.
Uh-huh.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
This is Wiki B, Dickie G's dim-witted cousin. I've got an electrical and audio tip for you guys. Never lick your car battery. They may look like licorice, but it tastes like burning. Okay, you have a good one. Bye.
If you can lick your car battery, there's a woman that wants to see you right now.
Yes. Okay.
With or without battery acid.
What's the lead singer of Kiss? What was his name? Not Richard Simmons.
Gene.
Gene Simmons. That's what it was. He's got a tongue that might be able to do that.
Maybe so.
Hey, it's Heart Theft. You guys know me from xjtalk.com, of course. So I was on the website and I totally saw an advertisement for Toyota. You guys fraternizing with the enemy? Come on. And enough with the talk about red Jeeps, blue Jeeps, white Jeeps, black Jeeps, all that. No. If you can still see your paint job by the time you're done off-roading, you're doing it wrong. Take a tip from us Wrangler guys. At dinner. See you. Bye.
Form and functionality, my son. Form and functionality. I'm keeping the paint on mine. Josh probably won't.
Oh boy. Well, you guys know I've already got one fender that's a mismatched color, and I frequently come back from the trail with a brown Jeep that used to be black. So
I don't mind getting it. I don't mind getting it dirty, but I don't want any creases in mine. So you guys can say whatever you want to say about me. I'm going to try to keep mine as pristine as long as I can. You need to get some sliders on yours, Josh. You're doing all those other great things, but you need to get some sliders on yours.
I've got some rock sliders. One of them's bent up.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You got a new one.
Yes, I do. And, I didn't do a lot of wheeling over the winter. It was right at the end of the last summer's wheeling season that I bent up that one. Hooked up with Warrior Products. They were very generous. Not only gave us an interview, but also gave me a replacement rock bar to swap out. So that's going on the Jeep as well. I'd replace the bent up one, and very much looking forward to getting back out on the rocks.
Hey, this is Nicky G. And every day is Get Naked Day in the Jeep. All right, I'll chat you later. Goodbye.
Great words of wisdom.
Something tells me Nicky might have been naked when he
Josh.
recorded that.
Pat,
Yeah.
92 YJ Wrangler. Just wanted to call in while I listen to your old podcasts and give you a little mini tip. I talked to us on one show, replacing motor mounts, and you touched on it briefly, but I had one hell of a time replacing my motor mounts. And I fought with them, tried to jack up the engine, everything. Oh, it was awful. Until I reread, and it said, remove the bolt that connects to your transmission mount. As soon as I released those bolts, it might have been one or two, everything flipped into place. So, anyone struggling with motor mounts that didn't want to replace their transmission mount at the same time, still remove that nut that holds that on, and you're going to thank yourself. So, learn from my mistakes. Instead of fighting with it, just loosen that up. Thanks, guys. Look forward to listening to you soon.
Hey, thanks for that tip, Pat. Yeah, I can just well imagine fighting with that thing and then realizing what you need to do, and boy, having that relief of, it's going to work. I'm going to be able to drive my Jeep again.
Yeah, no, motor mounts are a huge thing, and they can be a little tricky. And loosening up that transmission mount, and I wouldn't recommend dropping the cross member at all, but just loosening up that tranny mount a little bit, just to get you a little bit of fudge room, really goes a long way to making sure those bolts slide right in.
Yep. Great tip. Thanks for calling that in.
Hey, this is Nicky G, and I got a few questions and concerns about the map sensor on my Jeep, which is very misleading because it doesn't stand for any type of navigational aid whatsoever.
I knew it.
I think it stands for manifold air pressure, which is really not fair because my Jeep is under enough pressure just to get me to work on time. I don't think anybody needs to hassle it about its manifolds. Which, speaking about maps, it's kind of sad that our children will never know what it's like to try to fold a gas station map while driving lost. Curse you, Siri, and you know it all, biatch. All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. Have a good one. Bye.
Biatch. That's great. Nicky G, we could always count on him for something off the wall and go in a totally different direction.
Yep. Now, gotta love the voicemails from Nicky G, and we gotta love those voicemails coming from you guys. That's right, you who's listening to this right now. If you're within the sound of my voice, give that voicemail line a call and let us know what you think. 530-675-4102.
Boy, we love the listener involvement, and listeners can become members of the show simply by jumping in with both feet, just like Pre-Runner 1982 has done, just like Josh has done. I mean, he was a listener, xjtalk.com member, and a listener, and he joined the show. So you'd like to do a segment on the show, man, just give us just contact us, either Josh or I at Josh or Tony at xjtalkshow.com, and let us know your idea, and man, we'll get you hooked up, give you some tips on how to get on here and do your own segment, or do a Jeep tips, a Wrangler segment, whatever we're going to call it, which we probably need to mention that again, Josh, because we'd still like to get some names for the new Wrangler segment, or even the new Radio Com Tech segment that we have. So these are not owned by anyone. Just like Josh and I don't own this show. We don't keep people out. We let bring everybody in and have fun. Voicemails, segments, whatever you want to do. We love having you on.
Yeah, I was going to mention that this midweek offering that Tony posted up here recently was a interview from me back. What was that? 2011, 2012?
Yeah, 2011, probably around September or August time frame.
Yeah, it was a good almost 3 years ago. It's funny listening to that and how much things have changed, not only with my Jeep, my own life, but also, my involvement here with the show. It's definitely, made me reminisce a little bit. It's like, oh, wow, yeah, I remember when I was just a listener. I remember when I was just a fan. And here I am now. I got the co-pilot seat here. And like I said, guys, we've always got a third seat open, whether it be for John helping us out with the news tips or the radio comm tech or Rob helping us out with the Wrangler segment. And it could be you telling a story about your recent wheeling trip or something like that. Don't think just because you're not a professional broadcaster that you can't get on the show. Guys, we're just a couple of knuckleheads doing this stuff, and you can join in on the fun too. So we hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, really good point. I'm glad you mentioned the knucklehead thing, Josh, because I'll take a quick minute here to say we got a wonderful compliment in the xjtalk.com chat little window that's at the top of each page on xjtalk.com where you can go and read the forum stuff and also to keep up with the knuckleheads and I mean knuckleheads that are in chat. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, got a nice compliment. One of our new xjtalk.com members, I think actually found the site through listening to the podcast. He commented on, he thought it was a professionally produced show, which of course makes Josh and I just giggle because we know the truth of the matter. But I'm sure I'm speaking for Josh too. I was very flattered that they thought it was a professional show until Tony screwed up. Then I knew it wasn't a professional show. He could have mentioned Josh instead. But anyway, I just want to make sure that you guys understand. We're just a couple of guys. We got a couple of Jeeps. Actually, I got 3, but who's counting? And we're a couple of hams that like goofing around behind a microphone, and this was a good excuse to do it. So very flattered, very happy that everybody is liking the show so much, and the great compliments and the involvement. But this ain't no professional deal, guys, and you don't have to be either. So don't feel like you shouldn't be involved in this show, not calling in because you won't make the grade. Come on, guys. It's not professional. Like Josh said, just a couple of knuckleheads with Jeeps talking about it on the I want to say radio, but the pseudo radio, the podcast. So please feel free to join us. All right. Well, enough of that. Let's get over to our Jeep Tips segment. And now for a disclaimer. Jeep Tips is for entertainment purposes only. If you choose to follow these tips, man up and take the responsibility for your own actions. If you cannot, or you feel that working on your Jeep is beyond your abilities, seek the help or advice of a trained certified mechanic.
Got a tip? We do. It's time for Jeep Tips.
Today I'd like to talk about checking your oil. Now, some people may think that that's pretty elementary, but I think I can give you a couple of tips that might help. First of all, usually, I don't know about you, but I have this tendency when I get gas, the pump's working and all that stuff, and I go wash the glass, then maybe I want to go check the oil. Maybe that's a habit left over from when I used to pump gas or something, but that's really not the best time to check it. The best time to check your engine oil is in the morning when the engine is cold, because as you drive your engine, a lot of the oil ends up in the valve train and the heads and so forth, and it'll show a little bit lower than it normally would if it's all drained down. And the second issue, which a lot of people may not realize, is that if you have a hot dipstick and hot oil, it'll migrate up the dipstick, and it can be as much as 1/4 of a quart off. Half a pint of oil off. So, in other words, if you were to check your oil with the dipstick hot after driving it for a while, and then take that dipstick and put it in some cold water, and then check it again, you would see that you have about 1/2 pint less oil than what you thought you had. So it's really not quite a true reading of what you have in your crankcase. So to get a true reading, the best thing to do is before you start your engine is to go out and just pull the dipstick out. You don't have to wipe it off or anything, and the oil will be right where it is. It'll show right where it's supposed to be there. And if it's low or not, you know actually what it has, not maybe what you think it has based on oil migration and having a lot of oil up in the valve train. So it's real easy. You just go out, pop the hood, pull the dipstick. If it needs some, you put it in. If not, you're good to go. Now, the next thing that a lot of people neglect to check is the automatic transmission. And there's a dipstick that's usually on the passenger side right by the firewall. And on our Jeeps, particularly the late model Jeeps, it's real easy to find there. It's right by the dipstick. But it's kind of a pain in the neck. You know, you got to get the engine warm, so you got to drive it for a while, and then you got to make sure that it's idling in neutral, and then you pull the dipstick out and you wipe it off and you put it back in, and the oil's real thin and it's hard to see and all that stuff. So it ends up that it's really kind of a pain in the neck. So I'd like to give you a suggestion on a good way to check your transmission oil. After you've checked your engine oil with the engine cold, you can check your transmission fluid also. And I know you're saying, well, you know, they say to do this, this, and that. But what you do is you check it like you normally would, drive it, get it warm, in neutral, with the engine idling. You pull the dipstick out, make sure where it is, then you shut it off for about 10 minutes or so, let the oil drain down while it's still warm, and then pull the dipstick again, and notice where that oil level will be. It'll be showing that it's more than full, probably by anywhere from a half a quart to a quart. If your transmission oil is at the right level when it's warm and so forth, and you do this, then what you can do is you can mark that and just put a scratch or something on your dipstick, and then put your dipstick back in and forget about it. Then when you'll know what it's supposed to be when the oil is not being pumped in the transmission. So then after you've checked your cold engine, you can pull your dipstick real fast, and you don't have to wipe it off or anything. Just like the engine oil, you'll just look at it, and if it's near that little mark that you've made, you're fine. If it's not, you put a little oil in, and you'll be far more inclined to check your transmission oil that way than have to go through all that other stuff. So you can make sure that your transmission is oil is where it's supposed to be. And that's pretty critical, because if you're down a quart of oil, say on a automatic transmission, that can be a bad thing for it, because it'll be starving itself for oil. The clutches will be slipping when they're not supposed to. The oil pressure within the transmission won't be high enough, and so it might not shift properly, or it might drop down out of a gear, or any number of things like that, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, what happened to my transmission? So it's real important to keep that oil level up, and there's no such thing as a deep pan for a AW4 transmission, so that you can have a couple of extra quarts of oil in there as a reserve. So you're stuck with the stock pan, and you need to monitor that oil closely. So with a little bit of preparation, you can check it cold and check it often.
Boy, I don't know that I'd want a deeper pan on the AW4. It's low enough already.
Yeah, no, there's one of the things I've heard of guys doing, though, typically when you're doing something like a rear main seal swap or something like that, when you're dropping that pan, some guys weld in a little bit of a baffle in the oil pan just to kind of help keep the oil around and nestled around the pickup. Really good for those extreme off-camber situations.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, well, you know, it was the Petty Cash Racing that was having some problems with the 4.0 blowing them up, because they were always going in a circle racing that thing, and they were blowing them up because it was starved for oil. They had to put baffles in there. So
yeah, I've been on the trail myself a couple of times and in a position where I see the oil pressure start to drop, and I've even had the oil light come on a couple of times. And if you're in that kind of situation, just give it a couple of light RPMs. You don't floor it or hold it down, hold the accelerator down at all. But just give the RPMs a little bit of a bump, and sometimes that's enough to help bring some of that oil back up into the engine a little better.
A little thicker oil, a little heavier weight might help out too. Hey, I forgot about the Josh's subconscious. We can't leave without that. Let's get this on here. Hey, Matt. Hey, buddy. Don't think it. We won't play it.
Yeah.
And now another message from Josh's subconscious. Oh man, isn't it ironic that Tony wants me to go into the closet to record myself being out of the closet? It's hilarious. Now I have another ball joint tip for you. You have to protect them. They are very, very delicate. Very delicate. So you can go to the local sporting goods store and you can pick up protective cup and a jockstrap, which is kind of like a male G-string. It's really cool. So anyways, now, here's another tip. You never know when you're going to need penetrating oil. Well, unless you go to a ball joint, and then you always need penetrating oil. Oh well, gotta go.
Oh boy. Yeah, like a male G-string. Okay.
That would be an M-string.
That just conjures up so many bad images. But yeah, no, I've mentioned several times. I've got several cans of penetrating oil around the garage and the Jeep.
Yes, well, some of us need that extra lubrication, and others don't. So anyway, we mentioned this earlier. That anybody can be a part of this show. We don't want to come across as some professionals. Frankly, I'm shocked that anybody would think that.
No, I got to admit. I mean, we've mentioned several times that Tony and I are just kind of doing this one because it's a passion. We're very passionate about Jeeps and Cherokees and off-roading and stuff like that. But this is also a hobby for us,
yes.
And we have fun with it. Obviously, just going off of that last little bit right there, we like to have fun with the show, and we like sharing that fun with you guys. We love having you guys getting involved and joining in on the fun because it's a lot of fun. It really helps diversify the podcast and really it is having you guys get involved with that is just that reciprocal feedback that really makes a lot of this worthwhile. You guys are getting involved, that you enjoy the show so much to the point of where you'd like to be a part of it. And we hope that you do. Yeah. And there's so many ways that you can do that by email or by phone. And really the best way, just get a hold of us, Josh at xjtalk.com, Tony at xjtalk.com. Give us a voicemail, 530-675-4102. Let us know you want to be a part of it. And we'll let you know, okay, what do you have on your mind? This is how you do it. Let's schedule a time, all that sort of stuff. And we'll get you in on the show and figure out a way for you to get involved.
Yep. Just so bottom line, just a couple of knuckleheads with Jeeps and a passion to talk about it. It's all that amounts to, guys. So please feel free to join us.
Well, and you guys can join us on Facebook as well. We're also on Twitter. You can find us on Stitcher Radio and even TuneIn.com for all of your mobile listening pleasure. And, of course, you can find us on iTunes. And we can't forget about YouTube, where you can find us broadcasting the show live every Thursday, 10 p.m. Central.
Yep. Actually, I queued up several live events. So for the next 2 more weeks after this one, there's live events there. You can actually add it to your calendar. So if you've got a Google Calendar, an Outlook calendar, probably even a Thunderbird calendar, you can go over to our youtube.com/xjtalk. You'll see the live events that are scheduled up. You can click add to your calendar, and you'll get notification of this. Now, it may be too late for some of you guys. 10 o'clock Central Time may be too late for you. We understand. It's not too bad for you West Coasters, and there's a lot of people in the West that could be watching our show. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of stuff, lots of videos, even some of the shows over on YouTube as well. It's not just the live stuff. You can find the entire show archive over at xjtalkshow.com, clear back to episode 1 all the way to this one as well.
Oh, and if you're a Wrangler owner and you missed the Wrangler segment tonight, we didn't have one. Rob was running a little late. He wasn't able to get the segment to us. not to worry. We're going to have all kinds of little segments as more people get involved. So don't think that Rob has gone away. He hasn't. He's going to be working on a Wrangler segment, and we'll probably have it for next week. So I don't want to say we will until we actually have it, but we'll be having more Wrangler segments. He's enjoying doing them, and we're certainly enjoying learning about more about our Jeep brethren.
Oh, yes. Very much enjoy having Rob being a part of the show. Guys, make sure you're telling a friend. If you like the show, you think you know somebody who might be interested in what we're doing here, well, let them know about it. Send off a couple of links, tell them about the show, and even have them join in on the fun as well.
There is always, I'm going to steal it, Josh, there's always a seat open. It could be for you.
That's right, guys.
I didn't sell it, did I?
That's a lot of fun tonight, guys. Keep up those Amazon purchases. Throw some more of those curveballs, guys. We have a lot of fun with it, and it really makes for a good fun show.
And so I'm serious, man. It's a good excuse for the spouse. You know, like, oh, honey, I got it because it was going to be on the show, but we'd still use it. You guys have a great night and the rest of the week.
Take care.
Okie dokie. Another show. You know, that one went pretty smooth. We are at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 26 seconds currently. That was pretty close, man. I mean, we were almost right dead on it.
Yeah. No, that was, I saw because I had the stopwatch going.
Oh, that's right.
From the beginning of the show, and it's all backwards. Anyways, from the beginning of the show, and so I was watching the timer click down, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be right on the mark tonight.
Yeah, that's good. A little practice. Boy, the opening bit that I read wasn't right. I'm going to have to actually read that and time it.
No, I stepped on it.
No, but it wasn't that long. It was like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. I think I got in there around 2:23, 2:24 or something. And it was more than 4 seconds left. So I don't think it was just you. I mean, I noticed what you're talking about, but I don't think that would have made that big of a difference. There was quite a bit of song left to going in there. Yeah, there's some characters in the chat room tonight, isn't there?
Oh yeah, I haven't been able to join in on the fun quite as much as I have in prior shows, but I did pop in here every now and again, and every 10 or 12 posts or whatever, I'll throw in a little something there. So
we'll drive by.
A lot of people here in the chat tonight. So glad to see that. Glad to see you guys in there.
Yeah, where's that thing about the Batman mask? That was funny.
Yeah, I'm going through it right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Durango box, but man, you get on a rant and you're just cruising along. But I was going to ask you about the Durango box. You did the Durango box upgrade to yours, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I thought so. So let's see who asked about that. I think a pre-runner actually told him that there was a previous segment about that.
Angel Blackheart said, I am laughing so hard. I text my friend about the Bane mask being mentioned, and he's embarrassed as hell.
There it is. Yeah. That's great.
Nicely done. He said, haha, not even sorry. Laughing my effing ass off. He said, that's actually pretty funny. Good stuff.
Oh, there's Michael Brewer. Yeah, well, he said he was going to be watching the show, but we don't. People tell us that, and it doesn't always pan out. I'm glad he could join. If Michael, if you're still there, appreciate you joining us on the show tonight, and especially appreciate the comment on the Google Plus. I was laughing about that one. That was funny. I like the way this started out with Angel Blackheart saying, "Oh, my screen said 1 viewer. I guess it doesn't count me." You know, I'm really surprised we don't have more live viewers. I certainly promoted a lot on Facebook and Twitter. Probably not as much as I should. I hate to be too pushy about it, I guess.
Thunderhead7 in our chat room has got some questions about steering and asked me if I could help him out. John was kind enough to say Josh can help out with steering. His is a tank. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't John. That was Angel Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey man, that's what xjtalk.com is for, and not only Josh can help you out, but a bunch of other people. I mean, I don't mind telling everybody what I think, but I guarantee you, if it's my Jeep, I'd like to have several opinions. And if you go over to xjtalk.com and post up the question, and you don't have to be afraid, and I know we all are, I've never posted on Pirate 4x4, and there's a reason. Because I don't want to I don't fight over the internet, and I'm not going to start. So if I'm going to look something up, I'll look it up, but I'm not posting over on Pirate, because I'm not going to be talked to like from some asshat that doesn't know how to act right in front of people. I mean, if you're going to talk to me like an asshat, do it to my face. It might end badly for me, but show a little courage and do it to my face, not behind a computer screen. So anyway, you don't have to worry about that on xjtalk.com. In fact, that's why we started it. And when I say we, I actually mean me. I did not like all that crap that was going on, where moderators were even belittling members. Man, that question's been asked 1,000 times before. Do you know how to do a Google search? Do you know how to search? That this post hasn't been posted to in 26 years. There weren't even Jeeps made before that question was last asked. Blah, 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 blah. And it's moderators doing it too. I can't believe. Why in the world would anybody discourage somebody from posting on a forum? I mean, if you're not talking about things that are interesting or totally off subject, I can understand why you might want to try to correct somebody in private with respect, show them some respect. But good Lord, it has never made sense to me. So we started up, I started up xjtalk.com, and that was the one main rule, is everybody's going to be treated with respect. Not all the time. We mess around. Sometimes we screw up, but we apologize and we move forward. Josh, you look like you're smelling something bad.
No, I'm sorry. I trying to do some multitasking here, going back and forth between YouTube and chat, and now back to the show notes to get our promo script typed out here.
Josh is the hardest working man in podcasting today. Does it all. Worth his weight in gold.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So, as the people that have been to our live show have already heard numerous times, this is a post show. This is the part of the show that is after the podcast. And of course, the live show is just a video rendition of our recording the audio only podcast. The audio only podcast is the meat and potatoes of the XJ Talk Show. The videos is kind of like, here you go. People wanted it, so we're doing it. We are dressing it up a little bit with animated backgrounds, picture in the picture. I'm wearing a shirt with a collar, and so we're.
You mention that every show, like you just want to say, "Hey, Josh, how come you're not wearing a collared shirt like I have been?"
Well, I said I didn't want to make you feel bad because I was wearing a shirt with a collar. You didn't get the hint. You continue to wear the same old shirts and that drab-looking office with the. I think I see a piece of eggshell on your egg carton crate back there. So, yeah, you need to get some color in the background.
Yeah, I think I'm going to break down and actually spend a little bit of money on some actual studio foam.
Oh, why do that? Just get you some, what is it, like fabric spray?
Yeah, but that would mean I got to take this stuff down, pull it in the garage, and spray it, and then it's going to stink up the house until it airs, it finishes airing out and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll just take this stuff and I'll put it up on the ceiling and I've got some homemade bass traps up here in the corners, and so this stuff will get repurposed and reused, and I'll bring in some studio foam and do some panels or something like that in here.
Well, I hate to hear you talking about spending money, but whatever you want to do.
Well, I've done a lot of research because I had originally planned on doing a small build out in this extra room that I have here.
Oh, okay.
And actually creating a
little studio type thing
in a room. Yeah. So I did a lot of research on soundproofing and sound deadening and isolation and stuff like that. And I priced it all out, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna, for $3,000, I could buy a kit, so I'm not gonna do that. And so I started looking into alternatives, and of course I'm a cheap SOB, so I found several sources for inexpensive studio foam. So for what and the same brands and everything as what these big name studios are putting in, and what you can buy online for 10 times the price. There's this one site, and I can't remember the name of it. I've got it written down with all my other notes about studio sound deadening and stuff like that. But I could spend $100 and completely refoam this studio.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't know. This is something I remember. It was very colorful, something you could wear, and I don't know if they still make them or not, still sell them or not. But the rainbow-colored afros, where you put that on your head.
Yeah. You can get one of those big.
And the oversized sunglasses. Hey, I was thinking about this the other day, and I forgot to mention it to you. What do you think? I don't know if anybody would have any stories like this, and I may have actually asked this before and didn't get any responses back before you joined the show, so it may not work out. But I'm thinking about, how we were talking about some paranormal stuff. UFOs, ghosts type stuff. I'm wondering if we couldn't find some people that maybe have been out late at night in their Jeep, and we can combine the two things.
Yeah, I was driving my Jeep down a country road, and I saw a ball of light in the sky.
Yeah, or
and
the emphasis would be on story, not true story. Just maybe it should be interesting story. Do you have an interesting story about the paranormal? So I don't know. We can throw that out there and see, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. Interview. Oh, somebody else contacted me about an interview. I've got to start making some time and contact these people. I think I've got at least 5 folks that are wanting to do interviews.
Yeah, I've got at least 2 as well, and I've been slacking too. So
you need to get set up. You need to get set up over there so you can do phone interviews.
Yeah, exactly. I need to. Yeah, and I might.
Actually, I would focus on that before doing any color in the studio.
Yeah, getting the foam patch figured out is way above more sound deadening, because I've got a fairly decently low noise floor in here. It's not. It can always be better, but it's not bad where it's at.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, look, I'm bothering Josh. He's busily writing up our promo notes for the little things that we put out every week, and that you hear on the front of the recorded the audio only podcast. So I'm going to leave him alone. I'll tell you guys thank you very much for being here. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for having fun with us here in the chat room. Even though I don't get to interact with you guys because I got so many things going on these 3 screens in front of me. I do read the comments and chuckle, so I appreciate the fun you guys are having, and I'm right there with you even though I'm not joining in.
Hey, real quick, Tony, we've got 2 people in chat already. Angel Blackheart and Pre-Runner 1982 both have some stuff that happened to them paranormal wise.
Oh, great!
So there's 2 right there that have got a story. We may have to spark up the campfire and have ourselves some good old scary story sessions.
I wonder if we can get some spooky music or some spooky sounds to play in the background. Production value a little bit.
I've got some spooky music. I would just have to buy the license for it to play it on the show, which wouldn't be all that expensive. Or I think it might even fall under the Creative Commons license, to where all we had to have to do would be to give credit for it at some point. So.
Okay. Well, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Not something we would do all the time, but I think it'd be fun to have like a little special type thing. You know,
you did a paranormal interview, a paranormal-esque type of interview one year for Halloween, or right around that year time of year. I think we should do that again.
Yes.
So
and we need to plan that well ahead of time too, so we can get some stuff going and get some, actual. Diane's usually always available. I can always contact her. I think she's in some failing health right now, so I don't know her situation currently or how she'll be in October. But she's always a good person to talk to. Some very interesting things with all her research that she's done and the several books that she's written. But who knows? We might be able to find all kinds of things to have that's paranormal-ish. Whether it's ghosts or UFOs or anything that's out of the ordinary. Women driving Jeeps, anything that's out of the ordinary. Okay, guys, as I always do, I warm up to wrapping up, warm up. I'm actually going to wrap up, let you guys go. Josh and I are going to record our promo stuff and get the hell out of here and go to bed and enjoy our last day at work. The Friday, and relax and rest for Monday. I want to hear about those ball joints because I need to make a decision on which ones I'm going to buy, Josh. So
I
want to
between the U.S. Alloy and the Synergy, right?
Right. And I need to do some more research on it. I'm leaning towards the ones that you got. I just want to hear about how they were installing. So I know you can't tell me how well they're going to wear because it will. I'm not going to wait, 3 years or 10 years or however long it takes for those to wear out. But are you going to gusset that stuff? I don't think I remember hearing what you said on that. Are you going to gusset the C before you put those things in, or after you put those things in, or?
It'll be before because with the heat that's transmitted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's going to get too hot, and I'll end up screwing them up. So yeah, the old ones will come out, the C's will get welded, the axle will get cooled down, the new ones will get pressed in.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks a lot for sticking with us and being here in the first place. Don't forget, the podcast comes out on Monday. And I say it comes out on Monday because you weren't paying attention. You were just messing around in the chat room, not listening to everything. So make sure you download the show. Monday, midnight Central Time is when the show's available. Of course, you can always watch it again on YouTube, also released Monday at midnight. So until next week, make sure you join us again next week and tell some people that how much fun it is to get in here, and it's worth losing some sleep over. And what the hell? Nobody works on Friday anyway, right?
Right. Yeah, I try not to.
Everybody have a great night.
This is Dan from the 4x4 podcast, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.